Welcome back, everybody, to the Triad of the Force podcast, a Puerto Rican podcast where we explore Star Wars through story, culture, and the perspectives that shape how we see the galaxy far, far away. So welcome back.
What a
We
good
changed
new
our
intro.
Logo. Ooh.
That was great. Oh my God. Loved it. We are back. New, like you said, new logo, new intro, maybe new music in the future, perhaps reinvigorate, but still the same old triad, but with the same great takes. But Nani, what are we going to talk about today? What are we talking about today?
Yeah, so we are a little bit late to the party, but we haven't had the chance to talk about the Grogu and Mandalorian trailer. This one, I believe, is the one that should have been played during the Super Bowl because the trailer that we got said very little. But now we got something with a little bit meat on its bones, and I think it's still really good to talk about. The movie's coming close. It's May 22nd. It's released, so we're kind of getting on the hype train. It's controversial, the trailer, still, though.
Interesting. Okay.
Or did you enjoy it? Come on, let's get into it.
Let's dive
just
in.
Get into it.
And like any good online show, like this podcast is, we have to do a previously on, right? Like all the Netflix and streaming shows do. And I think it's important to contextualize this trailer with our last discussion, in which we talked about the previous. I mean, it wasn't a trailer; it was a teaser, I guess, and it was a spot for the Super Bowl. That was just bizarre, right? And not in the sense that it was a bad spot for a Super Bowl technically, but in terms of just a movie that's supposed to hype people up for the return to Star Wars on the big screen. It was just a really bizarre trailer, and we've talked about it in that previous episode. So if you want to hear our thoughts on that, please check out that episode where we also talk about the Bad Bunny Super Bowl special, which was incredible. So please, we're very proud of that episode, so check it out. But it was also then funny to see everyone's reaction online to the Super Bowl trailer, because some people were just defending that spot like they were own stocks on Disney. And I'm like, my dudes, it's fine to have nuanced conversations. We don't always have to be a monolith and be, I don't want to use toxic positivity, but just be positive.
Just loving absolutely everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't have to love everything.
Exactly. And, I think we were fair in saying that it was a fun spot, but in terms of hyping up a movie, because for normies, we're going to get hyped no matter what, right?
Oh, yeah. And we're going regardless.
Exactly. And we know the movie's coming out. We're hooked into Star Wars. We know what's happening. So everything's going to be like great for us. But in terms of the general audiences, I'm just like, are they going to get it? Right. And from what I've seen, I don't think that a lot of people are just like understood what this is supposed to be. Right. Or lived up to create that hype. I actually was reading an article on, I think it was Variety or Deadline, one of the two, that was saying that internally, allegedly, Disney executives were afraid that the Super Bowl spot just didn't hit the mark and didn't get the hype going for the movie, so they're afraid.
And that's why the other one was released?
Well, I doubt it. I'm pretty sure that this was just planned, right? You do the Super Bowl spot, because then I think it was that same Monday the teaser
that they released the new one.
The teaser for the trailer came out. And then that trailer. So I think that was just planned, right? But I don't know. I think whatever. I'm not a marketing expert, so who knows? My ideas might be terrible. But it was just bizarre, and a tonal shift, right? Because then you have this weird Super Bowl trailer that kind of what is it doing? Even though we know it's doing the Budweiser, the Budweiser thing, but like what?
But still, what does that have to do with Mando?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we get this trailer, so it's just very bizarre.
Ride.
Very bizarre whiplash. Yep. Very bizarre whiplash. But on the whole, it was a fun. I mean, to just do the simple review, and then we'll get into the weeds of it. But it was a fun trailer, but it didn't blow my mind either. I mean, it was like, okay, this is kind of exactly what I expect from the Mandalorian. So I did feel at the time underwhelmed when I saw it, but as time's gone by, and like I'm rewatching and I was like, okay, it's fun, I guess it's fun. What about you? What did you think? What was your
So I
journey?
actually kind of had the opposite reaction. I feel like the first time I saw it, I saw it at the office. I've told you before that,
Mhm,
some
mhm.
of my coworkers are um Star Wars fans, and sometimes when there's new things we'll watch, the videos and the trailers and stuff at the conference room during lunch hour. So
That's great.
so when you get like the people's reaction stuff, and I saw it and I was actually excited, I was like, okay, this is what I wanted. I wanted fun, I want excitement, I want all these things. But I actually rewatched it again today, like before recording this, and I
Mhm.
watched it with Hosbando, who hadn't seen it.
Yeah. See,
And
wow, that's some self control.
yeah.
Incredible.
And then we were like, I mean, we obviously when Seb shows up, we're both always like, Seb,
Mhm,
yes,
mhm, mhm.
awesome, amazing. But at the end of it, I was just like, wait, I kind of remember it being more fun the first time I saw it. And Hosbando was like, eh,
I mean, to be
it was
fair, when
kind of
you're
blah.
watching it in a group of people and
Claro,
everyone's
yeah.
hyped, like it
Hmm.
also hypes
Getting
you up.
hyped.
It's it's like
Yeah.
when you're
Hmm.
watching things like at Star Wars Celebration, having the
Yeah.
energy of everyone
Yeah.
around you makes the experience
Or
that
when we
much more
watched
positive.
Andor in the theater, with
Mm-hmm,
everybody that
mm-hmm,
first
mm-hmm.
time. So yeah, no, I agree. But at the same time, after rewatching it, I was like a little underwhelmed because it's like you said, it's not really bringing anything new. It's kind of exactly what you would
Mm-hmm,
expect
mm-hmm,
from this film. So I don't think it's really breaking any new ground. Unless they're really just not trying to show us much from the trailer, and it
mm-hmm,
turns out
mm-hmm,
that the
mm-hmm.
film's actually amazing. So
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard to judge sometimes from trailers because trailers can err on the side of just telling you the entire story, and then
yeah.
you get to the movie and there's no surprises because everything was shown, and on the side of like not telling you enough and then not hyping you enough to go see it, and then people don't see it in theaters. So
Correct.
I think it's a difficult situation to be in, especially when it's a show, it's a TV show
Mm-hmm,
that's changing its format into film, and sometimes that transition can be very difficult.
mm-hmm,
So I
mm-hmm.
guess we'll wait and see. I mean,
I'm
wait and
curious
see.
though,
Mm.
because you said you were watching it at work, you were watching it with coworkers. Obviously you have this podcast with me, so I know your level of nerddom and
Hmm.
enthusiasm slash expectation for Star Wars. You were mentioning that your coworkers are also Star Wars fans, but where would you put them in terms of their fandom and awareness of like things that are coming out in the future? Like, did they already know that Mando and Grogu was coming out and they were hyped to see this, or did you actually let them know that the trailer dropped and they had no idea about it? Like, what was their thought
Well,
process? I'm
usually
always
it's
curious, right, to know about
right.
other
Well,
people.
right. Well, usually it's me letting them know about the newer stuff because they're obviously aware that I have the podcast. They're
Mhm,
most of them older than me, so
mhm.
most of them are like very into what the original trilogy
Mhm, mhm,
aspect of Star Wars is, not necessarily in more of the newer stuff. One of them is a huge nerd. Like their office is decorated like Star Wars. It's
mhm,
a lawyer's office, and there's no like diplomas in the back. There's like Star Wars.
mhm, mhm,
Um, so it's great. But and they're the type that was always loved Luke, and they got really excited that the episode in Mando where Luke showed up, and
mhm, mhm,
as
mhm.
we all were. But it's one of the recurring things. Like, oh, we have nothing to watch. We're watching that scene again. That kind of situation. One of them
Yeah.
is not all into like the media stuff. They're more into like all the comic books. Like they're a very
Mhm,
comic book person. And it's like DC, Marvel, everything, like just comic books in general.
mhm, mhm.
So, and then some of them are just like casual workers at casual viewers, sorry, and they would have watched some of Clone Wars, but necessarily not all of it. They would have watched Mando and Grogu, but not necessarily some of the other shows.
Mhm.
So some of them are kind of in between, but all of them are kind of aware of Star Wars in general. So
Yeah. And what was
obviously, me
their?
with the podcast would be the worst, the more active one.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah,
What was
yeah.
their reaction? Did they? Oh, when the trailer was done at work, was everyone just like, "Oh,
At the
hell
moment, they
yeah"?
were just like excited. Like that was really fun. They were like, "That
Okay.
was really fun. I'm excited." That was the general reaction. We didn't go into details much of how much they know of the entire lore of
Yeah.
everything, but they were actually excited. So
Well, that's good. I mean, I think that
mhm.
because I mean, that's one of those things that I think we always have to keep in mind. Most people that will watch these movies are not us,
Yeah,
right?
and
And
they're not going to nitpick everything and not going to
no,
know every detail, and they're not going to watch the trailer and be like, oh, that's this person and that's this person and that's that
yeah,
person,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they're important because of this.
So
So
it's exactly it's a very
yeah.
fine line that it has that this movie has to tread between, like, obviously appeasing the hardcore fans that have been invested in this whole Star Wars canon that has been developed around the Mandalorian, the Filoniverse, and I
The
mean, and
Spinelliverse, yeah.
because Filoni's like involved, there's and we'll talk about it, all the connections to the Clone Wars that
Right,
are in this movie, but also in a way that doesn't scare away the casual viewer because
right.
if a viewer looks at that and it's just like I can't
I have no
connect with
idea
it because
what's
I have no idea
yeah,
what's happening, then
yeah. I don't know
then
who they are. I can't care about them. Yeah. So
yeah.
it's a fine line, especially considering that The Mandalorian to begin with was a show that was the gateway for a lot of people to get into
Hmm.
Star Wars. A lot of people who didn't know that much about Star Wars and maybe didn't even care.
Hmm.
Mando was so kind of detached from the rest of the greater universe that people felt safe going in and being like, if even if I know nothing, I will get the show
Hmm.
and I will
Hmm.
get the
Hmm.
characters.
Yeah.
So at this point that it's grown so big, and you're changing the format from TV show to film, I think I think it's a gamble. I mean, not in the sense that it won't be popular because I mean Grogu is probably one of the best selling characters that Star Wars has, and people love Mandalorian, but it's still that pivot and this being the first theatrical release
Hmm. Hmm.
in years, I think it was still kind of a gamble. So
I mean, and to that point, I think that's why a lot of people, I mean, myself included, are
mhm.
very drawn and compelled to Starfighter. And I think, and in many ways,
Yeah.
there's a lot of, especially like in the media, a lot of conversation about that movie that's still a year away. And I think it's because that exactly what you just said. Starfighter has, to its benefit and credit, the same
Yeah.
thing that the Mandalorian season one had when it came out. It was
Hmm.
fresh. It was exciting. It was an entry point for people to come into Star Wars without having to have any context about
Hmm.
anything that came before, anything that was after, any lore. It's just like you can come in fresh. And I think Starfighter has that,
Yeah.
and it feels
I
fresh and
agree.
exciting. And somehow Mando kind of lost that spark because of how long it's been on. Obviously, it's been on for three seasons, even though it's been a couple of years since season three, and it grew so much that I feel like it just like you have to know it a little bit. And maybe I'm off base, but I think that's why this movie feels a little artificial is the wrong word because it's a little unfair, but it feels very uh, marketing department adjacent, right?
I
Because it's
mean,
just like,
and to make it sound, it's gonna be even meaner. It kind of just sounds like filler,
I mean,
just very
yeah,
expensive filler. A
it's
little bit. I don't know.
it's a movie by committee, right? In many
Yeah,
ways, because I can imagine Dave Favreau. I combined them into one person. Dave
yeah,
Filoni
yeah,
and John
yeah.
Favreau developing this film and like having their idea of what the movie should be on its own, and I'm sure that it's great. And then the marketing team being like, most people tuned out of season. They didn't see Book of Boba Fett or season three, so they won't understand why he's flying in a Boo Starfighter. So let's go back
Yeah.
to the Razor Crest people, like a bunch of things like that, where I feel like the marketing team's just being like, okay, we have to make sure that we're taking Mandalorian Grogu back down to the least common denominator, so that
Okay.
people that watched season one and all of our moms that love Baby Yoda that bought all the ornaments for Christmas get it and
Yeah.
are just like, okay, let's go watch the movie
I
because that's
can
what I
watch this.
remember.
Yeah.
Maybe
But
I'm
then
completely
that's bad
wrong.
storytelling. If that's what they're doing, it's bad storytelling. So I guess we'll see when we see it because we're definitely gonna watch it. I mean,
Yeah.
we're complainers, but we're definitely gonna be right there
Yeah.
when it first comes out and to watch it. But
And I mean, and that's, I mean, the same way I'm bashing one thing, and I don't mean to bash, right? I'm just kind of trying to be fair here, and calling things like I see them. But it's also on the other side of the spectrum, they are doing a bunch of cool things that are incorporating canon and things from animation back into
yeah,
the show that I think because they're so old from the canon, like Filoni's able to just bring them back because people are being like, okay, so this is basically fresh, so we don't really need to know
right.
the history of those things. And I'm specifically talking about two and a half things. Two characters, and the other half is locations, because yeah, locations are cool for us, but
Right.
the general audience like doesn't give a
Will
crap,
not get it.
right?
Yeah. Mhm.
And those two characters are obviously going to be Jeremy Allen White's rumored character, which everyone online for a year was speculating who Jeremy Allen White was going to play, and then it was revealed that he was be Rotta the Hutt, or
Yeah.
as everyone affectionately knew him in the Clone Wars movie, Stinky.
Stinky.
And we see him in the Gladiator
Yeah.
snippet of the trailer. And the other character is the bounty hunter EMBO. We
Embo.
see a couple shots
Yep.
of him as he's approaching what appears to be Mando and Grogu's house from the end of season 3 of The Mandalorian, which we'll get into some speculation about that. But those are deep cuts, right? That's
Who
not.
looked
That's
amazing,
not.
by the way. Embo looked amazing.
It looked incredible.
Yeah.
Probably better than. I mean, it's unfair to make a show comparison with a film budget, but it looked better than Cat Bane in Book
Yeah.
of Boba Fett. Even though I love Cat Bane, but Embo looked great. So, what was your reaction, right, to finally seeing Jeremy Allen White's Stinky, or I mean, he's a grown up now. Let's call him Rotta the Hutt. Rotta the Hutt as a gladiator, and Embo. What was your reaction to those deep cuts brought back to life?
Yeah, so it's kind of insane. I remember when I first watched it and Mando's asking for information. It's like he's looking for a hut, and it's like, wait, we're bringing the huts back? What are we doing? Are we crazy? And then obviously Stinky, you have to go back. That is a D cut for Stinky. I mean, it was insane. Like, he grew up big,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And buff, because we've seen big, buff, but not necessarily buff.
Especially for a hut.
Especially, like, who knew a slug could have abs? Which I'm just like, what? Okay, we'll see. I'm not sure how you. We'll see.
So we'll see how that works, because I feel like the huts, the CGI is not the best. And I feel like that's what I've been having issues with the trailers in general. And obviously, there's still probably some post editing and stuff to be done, because
for sure.
I think, I mean, they did such an amazing job with Grogu, and they did from the beginning of the show. I think the best decision was to have Grogu be animatronic and not be CGI.
Yeah.
And they did really, because Grogu has some amazing scenes in the trailer as well. Like, Grogu is definitely the star. You can't go wrong with Grogu. Yeah. But yeah, the huts in general, I think they looked really CGI'd. It kind of took me out when they showed them, and Stinky as well, because then when you have Mando like charging over and doing kind of the attack and everything, like the discord between what's like real and what's CGI is like really like glaring. I mean, Embo looked amazing though. So as soon as I saw him, I was like, okay, this I can deal with. This is amazing. It's again a deep cut, and it was a very ominous scene. So I don't know if they were just like showing him to get us excited, and he's going to be a very minor character, or if there's going to be more to what he's doing, like not just like this threat, I'm coming for you kind of thing, and then kind of moves away. If there's going to be more to that, I think would be exciting. So what about you?
I mean, I think it's interesting with Embo. I mean, I'll keep it 100 with everybody. My brain glitched, and I forgot exactly who Embo was. Like, when he shows up, I was like, I know that I should know who this is, and then I'm like, oh, right. One of the other bounty. I'm sorry, like, Cat Bane's my guy. So every other bounty hunter,
I totally flinched.
Like,
I wasn't sure. Hosbando did though.
There
that
we
was
go.
surprising.
If you know, you know.
You know.
I'm not the biggest connoisseur of glub shitos like many other people online are, and I apologize for that. But once my brain was able to catch up, I was like, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
But in tying it back with Rada / Stinky, I love that you just call him Stinky. He's a grown ass buff adult. Buff
he will
slug.
always be Stinky.
A buff slug. Like, I never thought I would say that phrase, a buff slug. But it's. I was rewatching the trailer this morning to kind of try to speculate, because when I watch a trailer, I like to turn off my brain and just enjoy the.
Just watch it, enjoy it for what it is. Yeah.
Enjoy the eye candy and not try to guess what the story is. It's like, okay, probably Grogu's kidnapped and all blah blah blah. But like this time, I said, okay, let's try to figure this out. And when I was rewatching the trailer, it really started giving me like Star Wars show trailer vibes, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a structure kind of sense, where it's just like giving you snippets of probably only the first the first oh my god, uh, the three parts of a story. The first arc of the film, and not really showing you anything about the third arc. So it's mostly
Yeah.
first
So it's
and some
basically
of the
like the
second.
prologue. Yeah.
Exactly. So because like all the things in the snow and the
Yeah.
AT-ATs and with the Imperial dude and everything, that felt very much like a cold open. Like this is how we're gonna set up the story of what Mando's
Right.
doing. You know, it's gonna be an episode of The Mandalorian in many ways. It's gonna be that's gonna be like a short episode of The Mandalorian, a setup where he's at, and then the story kicks off when Sigourney Weaver gives him the little sabacc card, which I have to give props on that one because that is an amazing deep cut of Star Wars lore, the sabacc card, because that comes from the incredible book by Dr. Chris Kempshaw, whom we've interviewed on this channel before. So if you haven't checked out that interview, make sure to check it out after this. But Dr. Kempshaw wrote The Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire, which is kind of a history book of the Galactic Empire, right? History book in quotations because it didn't really actually happen, but you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
anyway, he's talking about in that book, there's a portion in which he's talking about the New Republic and how the New Republic was handling the remnants of the Empire and criminals and all those things. And it specifies that they would hand out sabacc decks to like all their agents, so they would have the cards with all the faces and names of all the most wanted fugitives, so that everyone would have them at bars and cantinas to be able to identify and go after them. So the fact that that piece of that book, and I don't know
Yeah.
if it's in
Made
other
it
parts
onto.
of
Yeah.
lore, but I definitely know it's there. Made it to the
Hmm.
movie. It's like pretty cool. And that's one of those things where it's just like I think this movie specifically, and like just like the Mandoverse in a lot of ways will excel as that. It's just like connecting things to like, hey, remember that thing from this other thing and that other
Yeah.
thing from this? Then it's all here, guys,
Yeah.
which
And
is
not
good and
everybody
bad.
has to get it, but yeah.
Exactly. It's good and bad because sometimes it can be like, okay, are you just is this just the the point of this movie type of thing? Because sometimes it feels hollow that way. But anyway, getting back on track. So when
I am
she
very
gives,
excited about Sigourney Weaver, though.
I have mixed feelings about her.
I know.
I
Husbando
love
as well. He's like,
Sigourney.
what? I
I
know.
love
I know.
Sigourney.
But what
She's
are
a
you doing in
queen.
Star Wars? Yeah.
But what are
Hmm.
you doing in Star Wars?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah.
there's some people that fit, and then some people that I'm just like, you just feel out of place in this universe. And that's one of the and I mean, this is a tangent, really big time. Yeah, that's one of the issues that I had
Issues.
on season 2 and season 3 of Mandos. Like sometimes the cameo appearances were just like too much, like Jack Black. Like love me some Jack Black.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah. It was a little.
in
Yeah.
hindsight, just like it just takes you out, and all of a sudden because you're not seeing an
Yeah.
actor portraying a character in Star Wars,
You just see the actor.
you just see the actor. You see Jack
Yeah.
Black, Lizzo, and Christopher Lloyd. You're seeing
Right.
like all these people that are just like, what am I watching? And that's a little bit of what I feel with Sigourney Weaver. She's a queen, incredible actor. She has, I mean, her reputation precedes her. Alien, Ghostbusters, like so many films that she's in. I'm not doubting that she's gonna crush it. I'm
I
just
know.
I'm just taken
It's
out.
gonna take you. It could take you out of the scene. It's like, why are you there? You deal
Correct.
with different aliens, not these ones.
Correct. But but we'll see. But anyway, she gives Din the card, and I think that's technically what kicks off the
Starts this
adventure,
quest. Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Because he's going after. I mean, maybe I'm completely wrong, right? But the fact that the card didn't actually have the picture of the Imperial that we see at the beginning of the movie, I'm just like, okay, so maybe they just CGI'd the face out of that card so that or whatever. Doesn't matter. It's speculation. I'm
Yeah.
probably wrong. The point is that's where I think kicks everything off. So he's looking maybe for Stinky slash Rotta The Hutt, and that's when the Hutts activate to be like, what's this guy doing?
Mhm.
And the Imperials hire the EMBO to continue Moff Gideon's cloning initiative, and that's why they still need Grogu, and that's EMBO going to
Okay. Yeah.
to
Another bounty hunter going after Grogu.
Embo goes and actually finishes the job and actually gets Grogu, and that's when Amanda's just like, well, now I know the Hutts because of my connection with Rhoda. Let's go meet the twins, and the twins are just like, nah, man, we're gonna take off your helmet now. Which let's talk about that. Actually,
Yeah,
no.
he was.
Do you agree with that theory, or like what do you think about the story?
I think it's no. I think it's possible. That's what it's aiming at. I mean, I would be disappointed if it's that straightforward. I would like for them to surprise us with something, but that is basically what it's looking like. So I'm not sure. But yeah, let's go back to Dinjarin.
Hmm.
Yeah, he was helmetless a lot during that trailer,
Which I
which
appreciate it.
I did too, because we know it's actually Pedro Pascal
But it's
there.
also a
And
marketing thing. So he has to have his helmet off. He has to take it off because everyone wants to see Pedro Pascal. So take off the helmet,
that
even though you did this whole thing in season 3 about how
that it
he
was
has to
so
go
hard. Yeah.
to the
Hmm.
waters of Mandalore, to blah 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 blah. So I guess like marketing
Yeah.
department. But anyway, sorry to interrupt you. Keep going.
Yeah, but it's still cool to see him. But yeah, but it was
Yes,
a little
yes,
jarring
yes.
that it was like such a big deal that he can't go helmetless, and it was like he one of the main points starting from season 1, and then suddenly it's like, oh, he's everywhere now. He is completely, helmetless. But I think it's also, showing that the character is actually moving forward, because he
I
looks
hope
a
so.
lot
Yeah.
less uncomfortable, when he's actually showing his face, which shows growth in the
Hmm.
character.
Hmm.
So I guess we'll see. I mean, it was, I don't know. There were a lot of really kind of heartwarming scenes between
Hmm.
him
Hmm.
and Grogu. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I think the best payoff of this show and now the movie and everything is the relationship between him and
yeah,
Grogu. So I really hope that they lean into that and not so
yeah.
much the spectacle of what you can do with the budget of a film versus the show. So
Well, especially that line, right? There's like that one line that's really hits home, and it's the when Mando says, the kid will live centuries beyond me. I won't
yeah.
always be around to protect him. And it's like, well, Grogu is in the
Mhm.
swamp, and it's
Yeah.
implied that it's in Nalhutta, the home planet of the Hutts. And
Yeah.
that planet in canon, as we've seen in the Clone Wars, is very swampy, so it's very Dagobah adjacent.
Yeah.
And he's walking through and meditating and doing all those things as Mando's saying that stuff. And it's like, okay, there we go. Like we got
There we
we
go.
got we got a
That's where.
couple of things that I just
Yeah.
say, okay, here we go. The movie has to be about their relationship and Mando
Yeah.
being a dad and being, making
Yeah.
doing what's best for his son. So I like that a lot for sure. But there was also something very interesting that happens during that scene, and there's like a little serpent creature or old man person that then shows up to talk to Grogu and says like, "Oh, are you afraid? Well, you should
Yeah.
be," which very obviously a
Hmm.
callback to the inversion, right? I think Mando likes to do a lot of Filoni likes to
Right.
do a lot of inversions from things that have
Hmm.
happened in Star Wars with the characters, and it's obviously an inversion from Yoda and Luke and
Yeah.
Dagobah with
Hmm.
you should be like that scene
Hmm.
in the hut, and it's obviously inverted now to Grogu. But and I say that specifically to go back to Luke because that voice sounded suspiciously familiar to me. And when that creature says that to Grogu, I'm just like, that
Is
is
it?
Mark Hamill. 100. That is, and I haven't really seen anything online of people
Hmm.
theorizing that, but to me, that voice was unmistakably Mark Hamill's voice. I don't know what you thought. Am I off my rocker, wanting to see things where there aren't? But I'm just like, it has to be, right? It's
I did not pick up on it. I
damn it.
failed. I have to rewatch and let you know, because now you are blowing my mind if that's actually true. I need
I
to.
don't know if it's true. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's true. Full
I
disclosure.
I
This is a theory.
yeah. Which we're wrong at all the time, but I did not pick up on it. So honestly, right now, as soon as we're done talking, I'm gonna go rewatch that scene and let you know, and you can put it in the comments. Like, okay, it does actually sound like him. So
Because it makes sense to me, right? Because we already had the scene
yeah,
in Book of Boba Fett with Luke training Grogu, and obviously a lot of reversals between
right.
Yoda training Luke and now Luke training Baby Yoda slash Grogu.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, unfortunately, that's CGI face Luke and CGI voice Mark Hamill. So it only makes sense right here that we
Yeah.
have like an analog for a master for Grogu, which is basically the inversion of Luke and Yoda again, and have Mark Hamill actually say
Actual
the
Mark
words
Hamill do it
that
this time.
Yoda
Yeah.
told him. So I could be off my rocker and just trying to hear things where they aren't there, but I'm like, it makes sense. You already brought Martin Scorsese to play an Ardenian at the beginning of the trailer, and then hyped that character up in the marketing for the movie, which I'm just like,
Why not?
also did
Why not?
nothing for me. I don't know how you
No,
felt
no,
about.
it did nothing for me at all.
Okay,
Yeah,
not
no,
no disrespect to Scorsese, like
of
I
course
love
not.
I love his
But
movies. He's a
mhm,
goat, like a man can do no wrong. But to me, again, the symptom of marketing for the film is just like, let's put that guy in and then like show
yeah,
him to everybody so that it's like, oh, look at this other thing. Everything is so
shiny.
exactly. They're treating us
Yeah,
like we're they're treating everything like a squirrel as if we were dogs.
yeah,
Like it's like, look at all these squirrels running around, like
yeah.
go crazy, go
Hmm.
crazy. Which I'm just like, okay, what, cool. I mean, cool,
Yeah.
but I don't care, you know. But yeah, but if it's Mark Hamill, I do care about that one
No, I do care about that
because
one.
it
If it's
makes
actually
sense.
because that would be masterful and it makes sense. Yeah,
But we'll see.
crazy.
Again, maybe I'm crazy, but you'll listen to it and you'll let me know immediately after we record this,
I will.
because I need someone to go into crazy town with me and go into the whole of insane. Well, actually, it's
Yeah,
not insane. I think it's
yeah,
a
yeah.
reasonable theory.
And if any of our listeners are in Crazy Town as well, please let us know if you agree or not
Please,
in the
please,
comments. Just let us know because yeah, I think Goose if Goose
I'll
doesn't
go
get any
crazy.
validation here. Yep.
I'll go crazy. I'll go crazy. So
Yeah.
obviously, I don't get that at home because at home I'm the only Star Wars a lunatic. So
Right.
we
Yeah.
need we need we
Yeah.
need we need some more nerds to do some audio. I don't know,
Give,
some audio forensics. Like they do
yeah.
in Reddit to help the cops solve cold murders and stuff. We need that to decipher if that was our old friend Mark Hamill. Because that would be great.
That would be great.
I don't think it saves the movie,
No,
but it
but
would be
it's
great.
a fun moment.
It's a fun moment. And speaking of fun moments, let's talk
Hmm.
about one that everyone online lost their collective mind about:
Hmm.
the beginning of the trailer with the sunset and the X wings and Y wings flying
Yeah.
towards camera. What was your reaction to that?
I mean, for a second, I thought, are they playing the correct trailer? And then you see like R2D2 and everything. It's like, what? I kind of thought it was a little bit of a cheap joke, honestly, because
Mm.
they get all old Star Wars, and then it's the whole Grogu, you don't press the button,
Yeah,
and then
yeah, yeah.
the Mando theme comes up. I mean, it was a cool transition, but at the same time, I don't know what they were trying to do. Are they trying to do like this is the new era of Star Wars cinematic films because it's
Mhm.
no longer that? So look at this. If it was just straight up for nostalgia to get everybody like super into it at the beginning,
Mhm.
I wasn't exactly sure what they were doing with it, and I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it either. Honestly, um,
Interesting.
I don't know. What about you?
Well, I thought it looked beautiful, right?
Oh, it
But
looked beautiful.
it
Yeah.
looked beautiful. It was stunning. But then in the back of my mind was like, didn't you guys do this already in The Force Awakens? Didn't you do the sunset with the
Yeah.
TIE fighters?
Yeah.
And obviously doing a very direct homage to, I think it's Apocalypse Now, with the helicopters on the sunset too. So like I get the film references,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm
But give me
tired.
something original. Why are you giving me the same things that we've done so many times?
And it looks beautiful. I'm
Sorry.
not gonna I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
it
begrudge
does.
I'm
It
not gonna
does. It
begrudge
does. It
that.
does.
It's
Mhm.
like, but yeah, but I'm just like, but I hate. I know that it's a meme at this point, right? Everyone doing the whole, it's like poetry, it rhymes. I'm like, not, it's not rhyming if you're doing the same thing. Like if you
Yeah.
rhyme you with you, it's the same word. It's not rhyming. So let's stop using that meme to justify
Yeah.
Star Wars just being self-referential all the
Yeah.
time. You know, that was my rant. I don't want to sound like
Well,
a begrudge,
no, but come on. I mean,
a
I think it's
curmudgeon.
worth saying. No, no, no. But it's worth saying because I think it's a symptom of Hollywood in general. Like there are
Mhm,
no new original ideas. Like
mhm,
everything is a remaking of something else. Have you seen how many of the films that have been coming out recently are literally remakes of something?
mhm, mhm, mhm. Well, it's not just that; it's more pervasive, right? And I think
Yeah.
it's good that we're going this direction with this whole advent of AI. I don't know if I
Oh
know you're
yeah.
not. I know you're not on on social media, so I'm not sure like if you've seen all the videos of people just making or remake, like the one that came out a couple of weeks ago of Tom Cruise fighting Brad Pitt on a rooftop. That was done completely by AI, and people being like, "Oh, Hollywood is cooked. Look at this that AI did for so much money and so much time when it would have taken much more money and people to do it." And then one came out about someone remaking the fight from The Matrix and doing like, "Look at how easy this was." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, like that's what is that what you want movies to be now? Just
To look like
regurgitating
that.
the
Yeah.
things that other people already did?" Like, obviously,
Yeah.
it's easier to recreate something when you didn't have to go through the work of actually creating it. It's just like
To begin with. Yeah.
it's not. So you just want to see like Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt fight forever in that age, doing the same fight and the
Yeah.
same fight from The Matrix forever with those two characters. It's like I
Why?
understand that AI is gonna be a tool that's here to stay because tools don't really go away. But to think that that's a replacement for
Yeah.
creators and storytellers and craftspeople and actors and writers,
Hmm.
it's just insane to me. It's just
Yeah.
remove humanity out of the equation of how we create
It
these
stops
things.
being
So
art if you do that.
exactly. So that's why I kind of like also like have to give credit to Mando and Grogu. So like, there's so many people involved to make this, that even though we're not
Yeah.
being as positive about it as
Mhm.
we may have been for some other media, at least we have to. I think at least I have to give credit's due in terms of being like, hey, this is a work of art by human beings that love what they're doing and are
Yeah.
trying to do something good.
Yeah.
So it could have been AI slop, and at least we're getting like something homegrown. And I
Yeah.
think that I don't want to say we're in the last days of seeing media fully made by humans, but we're definitely gonna be going to a slippery slope of
It's precarious times. It is definitely precarious times.
it
Hmm.
is
Yep.
for more reasons than one. Today we're only maybe only gonna talk about this whole AI thing because there's a
Yeah.
lot more difficult, complicated things happening, terrible things happening in the war. Hashtag, no war. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's at least we have, and to maybe switch back to a positive note, a movie that wants to bring joy
Oh yeah. Hmm.
to our lives and joy and hope. Where we're fighting empires and remnants of empires and fascists
Yeah.
and prevailing over them because good has to win. It's always good to look at that because sometimes we're looking all around us and it seems like the bad guys
Bleak.
are winning.
Yep.
So
It's a little bleak right now.
it's a little bleak. I don't know. I mean,
Hmm.
actually asking your opinion as a lawyer now, even though I know you do criminal, not antitrust, I guess. I don't know if this is antitrust, but the whole merger with Paramount and Warner Brothers, which seems this is like a monopoly and an
Yeah.
antitrust nightmare. And I'm just like, wait, what happened to avoiding massive mergers like this? Because now we're gonna have a massive conglomerate owned by the one MAGA multi-billionaire, and he's gonna own like massive, basically what, like over 60% of the media landscape. Like that can't
That's insane. No, it is
be
insane to
right.
me. I'm actually kind of one of the least areas of law that I know about is corporate law. So not the best attorney to ask about it right here.
Hey, you're the only
But
one I know. So,
yeah, I know. But husbando.
oh, that's not true. Exactly. My sister, my brother-in-law. Sorry. Whoops.
Come on, okay. So reevaluate.
Only one I'm talking to right now. There we go.
Right. But to me, it seems like a massive monopoly. I mean, I don't know. There's always a lot of loopholes in the laws to get these things approved, and a lot of money and a lot of people involved. But to me, it's insane. I don't think anybody should have that much power over media. Period. Ever, because that just it's it's insane. Um it's Succession.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I haven't seen the show, but I'm very aware
Oh
that
my
people
god,
are
watch
doing
the
all
show.
the memes. My issue with the show, at least with what happened in the latter seasons, from what I've heard, and how people start perceiving it, is that then people kind of get desensitized to the fact that you're supposed to hate these characters because they're bad people doing bad things, and it's just in some obscene way glamorized. And it's like I'm just tired of shows about rich people being unaccountable. We already see that in the real world, with all the
I know.
files that aren't being released and written,
I mean, it's up to you, but one, Nicholas Bertel's soundtrack
Yeah,
is.
yeah. I've
I
heard
mean,
that. I've heard the intro song at least.
yeah, I mean, like his work with Andor was amazing, but
Mhm.
Succession is something else. And then the show, I remember at first it was really hard for me to get into it because you hate them all so much that you don't want
Mhm.
any of them to inherit anything. But then the way they kind of evolve the show and how the characters and everything, and I don't know, I think it's worth the watch. If
No,
it's up to you.
I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
bad. I'm not saying it's bad.
Yeah.
I'm
But
saying that I'm
anyway,
just like,
we're
"Argh."
definitely on a huge tangent again. Okay, so that is the way of the world right now.
Yeah.
It's precarious times.
But but
So
we do it together with community, creating community, supporting each other. We don't survive on our own,
without each
fracturing
other. Hmm.
with each other. So we just have to stick together because
We are social animals.
to quote
Mhm.
the Planet of the Apes films, which are some of my favorite films of all time. Ape together strong. It's like that saying when he has the stick and it breaks by
Yeah.
itself. The bundle of sticks, you
Yeah.
can't break it. That's what we have to be, a society, a unified front against the, well, whatever. You know what
Yeah.
I'm gonna say. But
Yeah.
let's bring it back to Mando before we kind of wrap this up and kind of maybe do some final thoughts, maybe some positive thoughts, since we kind of went into a little doomer,
A little doom
a little
spiral.
doomer,
I
doom,
mean,
doom
yeah.
spiral there.
Yeah, it's rough times, but no, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I mean, it's gonna be a great summer film. I think the next season of the show is greenlit, right? I
No,
think no, that's not confirmed. I thought I read it somewhere, so fake news. Okay, never mind. Um,
it's fine. Okay.
it's fine. It's fine. So we don't really know what's gonna happen with that. We don't know what they're doing with the Filoniverse in general. So I think this
Correct.
film is gonna give us a better idea of what the next projects for Star Wars going forward in the Filoniverse specifically is going to be, because we know we do have Starfighter coming the next year, which that one I am really, really hyped about. So I think the fact that we know very little about that one makes it even more exciting, and it sounds really fresh. So we have Maul coming up. We're going to be covering it episode by episode as we've done before with shows, which I think is really exciting as well, because I think Maul is a really interesting character, and I love that we complained so much when in the prequels, like he was so kind of ignored and not used enough, and then he was such an important character in Clone Wars and Rebels, and we got him back, and now to like kind of see this story from his perspective as him being the main character, I think it's going to be really, really good. So definitely look forward to that, and we're definitely looking forward to Grogu and Mando doing their hijinks. Grogu looks super cute with all his Beskar armor and all the awesome things. So
Yes,
I mean,
the suit up sequence where he's getting like his own little whistling
and then
birds and stuff.
and the strap,
Yeah.
it was fantastic. Everybody needs a suit up scene. So yeah, I don't. We'll see. It's hard to speculate just from a couple of trailers. We won't really know what we're in for until we see the film, and we're definitely going to watch it. So I hope you let us know if you're looking forward to it, what you're expecting, if the trailers have gotten you hyped for the film or not, and just general thoughts of Mando and Grogu, and the state of the world. If you want to chat, we're here to listen.
It's important. Yeah, it's important
yeah.
to also talk about what's happening, because
Yeah.
we can't bottle it up or we'll go crazy. It's important to get it out and talk to
Mhm.
people, people that you confide in sometimes, so that you have that relationship to be able to just talk through your emotions, because otherwise we'll just go crazy. We don't share what we have going on inside. So definitely do that
Last thoughts?
in moderation, I guess. Last thoughts.
Mhm.
I think it's important to be measured, and I think that there's a bad side of fandom, right? Where it's
Yeah.
the fandom madness, right? And that's as
Yeah.
they're very colloquially called, where it's just everything's bad unless it's this very specific niche of things. And it's just they've made like a lot of those content creators a big platform just trashing Star Wars, especially trashing Disney Star Wars. And obviously that's a negative, right? Just living your life looking at how to be negative about
And
media,
hate
especially media
everything.
that you like. But
Yeah.
but I think there's also like a thing to be said, where just because you're reacting to that in terms of like rejecting the negativity and toxicity of it, that it means you have to be positive about everything. And
Yeah.
I don't think that's true. I mean, I think we have to be measured and be like, hey, maybe this
Mm-hmm.
didn't resonate with me, that didn't
Yeah.
connect, or that was amazing, or maybe that, I mean, that was good, but I didn't like it, or that was bad. It's fine for things to be bad, right?
Yeah.
And I think that there's a way to talk about media in which you can acknowledge that maybe something was bad to you, but not do it in a toxic way, right?
Yeah.
And it's important to have that balance. Because sometimes I just see that people get upset when channels that are known to be positive don't like something. It's just like that's fine as long as you're not as long as you're
Yeah.
engaging with it in good faith and being constructive about it. So I think it is important to keep that
Constructive
in mind.
criticism.
Yeah, it's important to keep that in mind with media,
Yeah.
and it's not to say that again that we're being negative about Mando and Grogu and that we're not liking anything. We're just it's not hitting and resonating with us in a way that we would hope it would, and we're
Yeah.
trying to be measured here. Obviously, a lot of things haven't been great for us, but we
Mhm.
also try to talk about the things that have been working and hit and are good. And that doesn't remove our enthusiasm
For it.
for
Yeah.
the show for the show
Still
for the
for the
film. So
movie.
we're
Yeah.
gonna be
Still
seated
looking
there
forward
day
to it.
one.
Yeah.
We're gonna rewatch it. We're
Hmm.
gonna talk about it, and we're gonna have fun. So and that's what matters. So I guess that's my spiel
It's
to
entertainment, isn't
close
it?
things off. It
Hmm.
is entertainment after all. Yes,
Yeah.
it's not real.
So I think that is it for us today. We are Triad of the Force. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know how you feel about this film, The Mandalorian and Grogu, coming up soon, May 22nd. Let us know what you feel about, Star Wars in general at this point in time. If you're looking forward to Maul and our coverage of it as well. So, just leave us a comment. Let
Mhm.
us know. So until next time, may the Force be with you.